They're broken down and defeated, deterred and chained, busy and confused, sleeping. You're dying while I wait you to get started on the journey chosen, wasted, no selected. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. Sober, sad and jaded. Then upcoming, they're broken down and defeated. You are dying while I wait you to get started. You are dying while I wait you to get started. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky, yeah. Crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile.
I'm a motherfucking unicorn, a one-of-one. Divide being the love and light, then lighten one. My karma isn't just stellar, I live by truth. Fighting evil, my scars are living proof. Protecting you from the storms with all my might. Love me, I will treat you right. You ever cross me, it's the last thing you'll ever do. With my crown of thorns, I'll wreck you. I ain't playing, yo, Ryan Hart, call me a saint. Too bad, Chris, because Bigfoot knows my name. I'm a messenger of God, with loyalty I serve, taking out all evil with his holy word. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand, slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand, slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC, so listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Hello, welcome to Third Eye Live. Someone decided to fucking show up tonight. Here he is, DJ Marky Mark. He's got 2 turntables and a microphone. Third Eye Live, where every Wednesday women drink free or until he's cute.
How are you, Brian?
I'm hanging on by a thin freaking thread. So, but we have a great guest tonight. I miss my sister from a different mister, but you know, I think it's a good. It's going to be a good show. Couple of things, little house cleaning. I did publish my book, so and it's the Beauty Buffalo Peyote Spell. It is available on Amazon. Only $21 for 163 pages of fun and excitement, especially if you're a lady. Yeah, I had someone say, "You wrote a women's empowerment book?" I'm like, yeah, pretty much. I know a bunch about them. And today, this went for review. This is the latest book, Sacred Mounds, by the crypto guru Ronald Murphy and me, Bryan M. Bowden, because I kept getting tired of hearing Ron complaining, where the fuck's the book? Pardon the French. We actually curse here. We're adults. We curse. If you want an interview or an educated, highbrow type of stuff, wrong show to be at. But we're going to leave you with a lot of fun. Hello, Jaquetta. Your Mark did show up tonight. Hey, Straw Dog, Val, Jen, Kitty Catty, Whack, Bino. Good day, mate. No, that was a really bad Australian thing. BJ, great to see you here too. We have more people filing in. Did you know that someone complained that our opening is too long? And I'm trying to explain to them, yeah, I understand that, but because this, YouTube is decided not to alert people or wait to see if they would remember. We have to have a longer opening. So, I mean, they should just be lucky it's not like a 20-minute opening, like someone who's our guest tonight, which we're going to bring in a moment. Sysco had a fucking long opening. I'm so happy she's here. But a little house cleaning. I'm going to throw it up because I think it was Diane asked about it. If an EMP is detonated, we're all screwed. It will fry all your electronics, your car, everything, unless you have EMP Shield. And I've been an affiliate with them for a while, but this is EMP Shield. They make EMP devices really inexpensive for your generator, your home, your vehicle. There is a coupon. You get a little bit of a discount. EMPshield.com / coupon equals me, Bowden. Go check them out. Go look at them. I'm not, if I get anything, I get anything. I'm not really in it for the money whatsoever because, Mark is a pimp and he takes care of me pretty well. Hey, but more. Sorry, Mark. Yeah.
Lynn just said that too.
Lynn said that? She did?
Yeah. And yeah, that was why I was running a few minutes late, but that's and she wanted me to tell Sysco. She said hi, and so it's going the other way, back to Lynn too. So
we'll play the ping pong. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
So it's been an interesting evening so far, and I'm sure it's going to
it's going to get better. This is a good show. This is a lot more paranormal than we normally would do. So a lot of our paranormal family that's in here is going to enjoy it. Hello, Bimora. Welcome to the broadcast. But we're going to bring her on in one moment. But something was interesting. The other day, Mark sends me a message like, yeah, I was cutting the grass before I have to raise my pimp hand. And I was just like, what the fuck? So Mark looks all nice and cute and cuddly right now, but he's just a gangster. Look at that. There, that's for Jaquetta. Wave to her. Blow her kiss. Blow her an aloha kiss, Mark. All right, let's bring our guest in. We have to do it 2 different ways. I got your audio right here. I'm putting you on right now. Welcome to the broadcast, the one and only Sysco from Journey. Oh my God, Journey Through the Gate Paranormal Portal podcast.
There you go.
Cisco.
There you go. You
Between
caught me.
you-
I was going to fixing my boobs.
That's all right. You're allowed to fix your boobs. Hi,
right.
Michelle, Psychic Medium 333. Love the
All
threes.
original packaging, by the way.
You know what?
So, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing.
You know what?
How's the chat? Hello, chat.
Chat is great. People are saying hi. Great night ahead. Yes, it is a great night ahead. Jen says Cisco with the American flags. PNL is there. I will tell
Love
you that I just got to start off by a little story. I think this was in this. There are no coincidences. There's a lot of synchronicity, but no coincidences. And I went to Emmaus after the Crossing Realms conference, and I was there with Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Greg Ogles, Natalie Smearman, Paul Anthony, Krista, and Brandy was supposed to be there, but there was a tornado. She had to get back home to the fam, which is good. So I was just concerned about her driving late, but Brandy's, another military person. So you people are nuts. It's like worse than the post office, sleep, rain. Yeah. Well, it was good. So when I was there, I mean, like, I kind of didn't feel anything, what do you call it, like paranormal base. We went into one room and I think his name was Albert, and it's like a isolation cell, and the front little window was pushed out, not in the room. And apparently this guy got locked up a lot because he was a very violent individual. I think he was misunderstood. And he pushed through it. And I kind of felt for this guy. Like, I would be pissed off too. I would start fighting, whatever. So after that whole experience, I was driving from that part of Missouri down into Arkansas. Yes, it's called Arkansas. I don't know where the F people get Arkansas from. Like, where do you get Arkansas from? It's Arkansas. And as I'm driving, I'm talking to someone who's droning on about, is a friend of mine and a brother, and something, and I'm kind of like zoning out on this 2-lane road, looking for an out for the most part. And the next thing I know, it's like, Cisco, what's going on, Bowden? And she does this all the fucking time. It's like, Bowden, no, what's going on? What have you been doing? Which means she's sensing something. I say, well, not much. I mean, I'm just driving. Thank you for calling. It's great to hear from you. No, something else. Yeah, and she goes, no, I'm feeling something. I'm getting something. And I said, well, I did go to this place and, that was haunted and stuff. She goes, you need to rebuke that shit right now. So I did. I said, I rebuke it in the name of God, that, all of it is rebuked. I heard like a tink, like something hitting a tin can, and from behind me. And the next thing I know, it was kind of back to like more alert and not like going down a low road. So I thoroughly can't thank her enough for saving my ass. So, but she does this all the time.
It'll happen again.
No, it's definitely going to happen again.
It'll happen again.
It happened a couple of months earlier than that. She was sensing what I was sensing. There's a lot of evil and negativity around there, and semi-desperation, and people started getting depressed because of what was going on. And she's like, yeah, no, they're telling me I need to talk to you or whatever. So this is what's great about this lovely lady right there, who I am thankful every day that you are in my life. Hey, what's going on, Texas Cacti?
That's sweet.
No, it is. She's going to give me shit this summer, though.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When you get with somebody who understands, and when we say understand in this subject, there's so many layers.
Yep.
This is the most beautiful thing that you can imagine, the paranormal supernatural, and the fucking scariest. There is no doubt, and there's everything in between. There's no experts. There's nobody has all the answers. The spirits don't even have all the answers. There's all these secret codes and things they can't tell you, and we can't go there. You know, we can give you a little bit, you know. And when people come out and profess that they have all the answers and they know what's going on, you got to step back and go, maybe a certain portion of it.
Right.
And that's, I think, what's happened in the paranormal. So many people have compartmentalized. And my thing is, the amount of time I have left, I really want people to try to understand a little bit better about what they're doing. You know, like you'll have the kid that says, and I'm pausing a little bit because I'm getting a little, not feedback, but I'm hearing myself funny. So
sorry.
Bear with me, chat. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we had a little mic issue, so we're doing two different things right now, just so everybody knows.
Right. The thing is, with people,
Sysco, you're muted.
Am I muted?
Not now.
Okay. So I didn't touch anything. So the thing is when people say, you know, I played with the Ouija board, nothing ever happened. I go, really? I did this and nothing ever happened. Well, how much time do you have? Because the ones on the other side that want to mess with you have all the time in infinity. Yeah. So whose clock are you on, man? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So again, I'll state, it might not hit you. It might hit the weakest person in your family, a neighbor. It might come to you 5 years from now, you know. And that's not just a Ouija board. That's other things. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying the worst thing you can do is go in it with arrogance and ignorance and think that you're the powerful one. Right. Because you don't know what you're calling. So just, you know, you have to understand. You were talking about intros. Yep. Bowden and I get into this intro crap all the time. What I would do, if we were talking to something low level, like really scary, frightening, strong, whatever, I would start the show with a high vibrational song and some fun stuff and laughing, because then everybody in the chat, regardless of the day you had, what's going on in your life, you know, what happened 10 minutes ago, your vibration changes, your frequency changes. So I'm bringing everybody in, raising the vibration, and then we'll talk about it. And then we'll raise it again before we leave. Because that's responsible, you know, when you're talking on electronics. Because if you don't think they can get through electronics, you're kidding yourself. Oh, it's ridiculous. This is a super highway for things that are paranormal. We experienced it on Paul, who normally is here, Paranormal Paul. He does a Paranormal Among Us. They had a show a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, and people were getting sick in the chat from this one of the guests. And he kind of had problems and he went off camera, but we don't, you know, and I don't know the guest. So, but I mean, I can do that too. I can go off camera right now, just do this. And then I can throw on infrasound and you wouldn't even know it. But everybody was getting it. And they were asking me, like, you know, Brian, are you feeling anything? And initially I didn't. Then I started feeling a little bit on the side of the temple. And then I started getting like a little bit of a quiver thing going with the top of my cheek. So something was going on. Yeah. It all depends on your field. Yep. You know, I mean, we can raise our vibration. You know, I know people that have cleared out haunted houses with joke books, just laughing, you know, and it just dispels. Now, how long is that going to last? It depends on who's in the house. You know what I mean? Everything is involved in this. And if the chat wants to play a little game, I've got a little setup for them. If you'd like to do that. Yeah, let's do it. It's a little story. It's a true story. Okay. About a guy who found himself in a predicament. And what I'm going to do is tell it in stages,
Okay.
and the chat can guess. We'll all be paranormal investigators tonight.
Sure.
You tell me as I go through, if you were the investigator, what would you say this was? What are you dealing with? Because in this process, what I'm going to show you is that by going into a house for an hour, 3 hours,
Right.
and you've got an EVP that says peanut butter and jelly, whatever, you saw a shadow,
Right.
you might have got it on camera. That still isn't enough for you to tell the homeowner or yourself that you understand what's going on. Because here's the deal. You could bring it in yourself, something that followed you in.
Oh, yeah.
It could be something that's just stopping by because it sees the light, the gathering of people with abilities. It's like flicking on a light in the back porch and all the bugs come.
Right.
You know, it's that kind of thing. You know, it could be 10,000 things. So in order to test is that number, are we lottering?
Yep. I just came up with it before the show started. So try it out. Hope you all win.
No, I'm not from Florida. I have lived there.
No. It's
right before
anyone.
I
It
went
can
in the
be used
Army.
for Powerball or Mega. So the P or the B
So
can be in it.
What I want to do is show you,
Sure.
because I personally believe that we have got to start putting people with abilities, whether it's sensitive, medium, psychic, medium, whatever flavor,
Right.
and you need to have several of them to help sort through, because a machine isn't going to tell you,
Right.
and what you see may not even tell you. I've personally stayed in a room with some very wonderful people with abilities, and we all saw 3 different things from the same ghost. Now, I use ghost as your earthbound spirit.
Okay.
When I say spirit, I mean one that is crossed over and has gone through whatever you go through,
Right.
and then comes back and communicates or visits or whatever. But your earthbounds have not gone through any of that. So they have everything they were. So if you were an asshole while you were alive,
Right.
you're an asshole when you pass if you're just stuck here.
I like that. You're an ass.
Do you see what I'm saying? You haven't gone through that cleansing.
Ass soul. That is the
or whatever it is you go through. So let's play the game. Whoever wants to play the game, I'll watch the chat. I'm going to tell you a little story.
Okay. Oh.
And we're all instantly ghost hunters now. Okay. Okay. This is Brad's story.
Okay.
And he lives in Tucson, Arizona. Now, Brad went through a divorce. He's married 5 years. He's starting his life, got a new job, new condo. Okay. And he's in his condo and he's, trying to get his life back together. And all of a sudden, the lights are flickering. And he's got this problem with this one light in the hallway. And it seems to do it a lot. He doesn't think much about it. All of a sudden, the TV, he starts having a problem with the TV. Now it's going off, coming on, it's coming by itself. And even though he had cable, he's got reception issues, all different stuff like that. And he doesn't think anything of it. He's just moving through his day. And this is the first week. He starts hearing banging on the wall. Okay. And it's waking him up at night. And he's starting to lose sleep. Now we're starting to get into, now I'm tired, I'm not getting sleep. And a new job, go. That kind of thing.
Right.
So at this point in time, if you walked into that house, you wouldn't know what to tell Brad he was dealing with. You might say, you might have a little something here. It could be electronics. It could be, get your wiring checked, whatever. The banging on the wall could be plumbing. You really don't know. By week 2, now he's calling out to it because he's open to this stuff. In his family, they talked about it, so he's not closed-minded about it. And he starts calling out. He goes, is somebody trying to get my attention? TV goes on and off. Lights go on and off. And now he's playing with it. And he's like, oh. He said, well, if you really are something, make the chandelier sway. And it does.
Right.
But he's also questioning himself because he's like, it was just a little bit. So a couple of days later, he reaches out again. He hears the banging on the wall. Oops, I'm back.
Yep.
And he says, if that's you, there's a bag, one of those Wawa bags or Walmart bags. He said, make the bag float up. Can you make the bag float up? And it does.
Wow.
So now he's having fun. He's like, can you turn the TV on? The TV might come on. So at this point in time, if you were a paranormal investigator and you heard this story, what would you say? Oh, I think you have a ghost? Because now it's following commands. But who is it? You don't know.
Yeah.
So it goes on another week. This goes on a whole year. This guy's adventure was a whole year. So it moves through. He's doing all this stuff, move the bag, turn the TV on, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And he says, can you show yourself? Sure enough, here comes this mist. And he said it was about 4 feet tall, right in the middle. It's got little sparkles in it, like electrical pops. And he's like, puts his hand in it, and it's like it's cold, and he's amazed. At this point, he's amazed. And he's having a good time. And he's thinking, wow, I got a ghost. So he's starting to talk to it. And then he ignores it for a couple days. And then his walls start bulging out and coming back in. And the walls are actually, he's sitting on the couch and they're undulating. And he's like, go away. I'm tired today. And the faces change. His words, evil, monster, scary. He's getting a little scared now. At this point in time, if you heard this, what would you say?
I think
An intelligent, I've got in the chat, an intelligent, something that's, yes.
Yeah.
It's picking up. It's not a residual. We know that. Time to move, somebody says.
Forget it's a time to move.
So, but again, is that enough to make an assessment? No. Okay. So it's getting angry at him. So he's getting a little angry. It's kind of moving with him. Okay. And now it's keeping him up at night. He's starting to feel the hands holding him down.
Right.
He can feel it very close.
Right.
Not sleep paralysis. I'm so sick of hearing that.
Yeah. It's
And he feels the hands and he can't move. And he feels the anger. So he's like, that's it. I don't need to stay here. I can't get rid of, I don't know what to do. I can't get any sleep. So he quits his job.
right.
And he goes and moves in with a friend to Florida. with a friend just to get a break. And he can feel it in the car. He can feel it near.
Right.
But he keeps going. He gets a job. He starts again. Sure enough, it starts up again. And it's causing problems for his friends. Because now his friend's hearing it.
Right.
And they're getting affected. So he feels bad about that. He grabs his stuff. And this guy, he goes to another state where his brother got him a job. And he's in a motel.
Right.
And he can feel it. But he's so exhausted at this point. Right?
Worn out.
And he just seems to be moving more into depression and tired. You know, he's angry enough to get up and move, but he's not, he said he didn't find his anger at the thing.
Right.
It's weird. So he's in the hotel room and he's trying to ignore this thing. And all of a sudden he hears this pop and he smells smoke. And the air conditioner and the curtains are on fire.
Right.
It's like, my God, this thing's trying to kill me. He runs out of the hotel room. They get help. They put out the fire. So he doesn't know where to go. He goes and buys a tent and a sleeping bag. Now he's in the woods. He's in the woods in Florida. And he can feel it close, but
Right.
it's kind of keeping a perimeter. Okay. At this point, chat, what do you think you're dealing with? If you had to put it in a category,
I'm gonna say mother-in-law.
Okay. So it's trying to kill him, holding him down in bed. It's causing sleep deprivation.
Right.
Obviously, it's upstunging his life.
Almost sounds like
And-
a succubus.
I know, right? So he deals with, I think he stayed like a week and then he said, that's it. That's it. He goes and moves in with his brother. And this one night it shows up, angry. He pushes out the door. He sees the evil face in the door.
Right.
And he says, come in, we're going to deal with this right now. He invites it in.
Right.
Not like it needed an invite at this point.
It's already
But it
there.
does give it power.
Yeah.
It does give it power.
Yep. It
So-
does.
Comes in, he says, that's it. He's cussing at it. He's angry. He says, I don't want this anymore. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome around me. He makes his stand.
Right.
And he admits to himself that, why did it take this long? And he said, I just didn't feel that. I didn't feel like I could make that stand. He was beaten down in the beginning,
Right.
and it kept on going. As soon as he did that, it appears, and he can see it from the head back down to the waist, and it's a little old man. It's not a demon. It's not a succubus. It's not a powerful entity. It's a little old man. And he was angry that he was stuck. And it's communicating with him. He said in short little bursts words, he got the idea of what was going on. He said he was attracted because he felt depressed too.
Right.
It follows your energy. And, like energies, I'm telling you guys. And him interacting with it built the guy's energy. And then he just got angry and didn't know what else to do because he wasn't helping him. So he says, I'll help you now. And he starts talking to him and breaking it all down and says, you don't need to stay here. You need to go into the light.
Right.
And he was scared. So he kind of coaxed him through with kindness. His own words, kindness and love. He said he was no longer angry. He calmed him down and he coaxed him into the light. And he never had another problem. Now you could have anybody walk into that situation. The minute you mention fire, faces poking out of the wall, the sleep deprivation,
Yep.
the holding them down, they would have said demon.
Yep.
Any pick a show. They would have said demon, demon, demon. And this little old man just needed some human kindness and understanding. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
It's-
And go ahead, Mark. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Okay. Cisco, with a story like that where you emphasized emotions, anger was very prominent in your story. Do you find that a recent story like that is just a continuation of, say, a nearly a 200-year-old story like A Christmas Carol?
Beautiful story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you feel like
I think Dickens had it.
yeah,
I think Dickens had it.
yeah, was on to something that we're, your story is confirming characteristics of Jacob Marley, or some of the other.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. And that's my favorite Dickens story. If you like ghosts, I'm sure everybody is. But the thing about it is he really did connect into that. Because here's the thing, ghosts really do what Jacob Marley did. I have bumped in, especially in the last 2 decades, a lot of ghosts, earthbound, not spirits that have crossed over and come back, because they do that a lot. They help a lot. But a lot of earthbound almost are drawn to the same emotion. Like if you're going through typical things, they help you because it helps them. It helps them. It helps raise their vibration. It helps them sort their emotions and their feelings, and they're drawn to that. Here's a quick story. Bernie Taupin, he played the doctor on Love Boat, and he was a young kid, and he was thinking about getting married, but he wasn't really sure. And he was restoring this old hotel, I believe, with his dad, and they're doing the wallpaper, the stripping wallpaper, whatever. And all of a sudden, this full-bodied apparition of a bloodied up bride ghost, so she was still in the wedding gown, comes through the wall, walks across the hallway and out the other wall. And he's just like, what the heck? And he looks at his dad like, tell me you saw that. He said, I saw it. And his dad's telling him a little story about the place might be haunted. He heard a little something about it. He didn't realize what was going on. So he goes up later on. He sees it a couple more times while they're working there. And it just kind of frightened him, startled him, but it wasn't a horrible experience for him. He felt bad for her because she's obviously wounded. Something happened. So he goes to see this medium later on. Very wonderful. Kim Russo, I absolutely love her. And she explains to him, she goes there and she talks with the ghost and gets to go to cross over. Turns out she was stood up. She jumped off the building. She deleted herself and was picking up on him sitting there wondering, should I go ahead and propose? Should I go for that marriage? Should I live out here a little while longer? I'm still young, that kind of thing. She was trying to tell him, go for it. Love is rare. Don't let it go. That kind of thing. She connected into his feelings, with all that. I've got 1,000 stories like that. So yes, it will connect into if you're depressed or if you're really happy, hey, there's not too many happy ghosts running around, but there's a few. There's a few.
There are a few happy ghosts. There are a few trickster ghosts, and they just it's what they do.
Jumpers have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, the happy ones are tuned in right now to listen to Sysco.
Yes, and Third Eye Live.
I get slapped in the back of the head all the time.
I get those.
But
I think.
But yeah, they do.
No.
Jumpers are really fun because that's something I call them. I don't know what you guys in the chat call, but as a bartender, I encounter a lot of jumpers.
This is great.
Jumpers
go for it.
Are earthbound spirits. Okay, so ghosts. And that don't want to leave certain places like bars, casinos, places like this. Horse racing is a big one. Different places like that. Because they can no longer experience the taste of alcohol, a lot of things. And they jump in to an easy person to get into. So I call them people with cracks in their windshield. So if you're depressed, you're drinking, you're an addict, you're angry all the time, you're easier to jump into, and they can take you over for a few minutes and experience some of those things. So I've actually watched them in bars trying to get into people, and you can tell the minute they get in, the person changes, their body language changes,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
You want to do, what is it? What is it? 2 shots and a beer, right? Is that
2 shots in the beer.
Is that the story?
The name of the chapter?
Yeah.
The name in my book, there's a chapter called Jumpers, Gritters.
You're on mute again.
Touch anything.
Oh, no. That would be me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm there. And I was just out of the Army, and this was close to the base, this bar. So I got a lot of TDY people. That's people coming in, staying for a short amount of time, and they're staying at the hotel. So they would, like make the bar their home. So I knew this guy who'd come in about 4 times a year, and he was a great family man. Loved his kids. That's all he talked about. He missed them so much. He hated being away from them. He's usually upbeat, but real tired. He was the engineer, I believe. Anyway, he's there, and he would usually come in. He would order some takeout food, have a beer, and they would go back to his room. And they're getting on you. So
that's okay.
He's there.
Yeah, I hit the wrong mute button.
This one night, and he looks really tired. And I'm like, Sam, you got to get you something to eat. Go get you some sleep. And he's like, I'm so hungry, I'm like really hungry. And I said, I'll call right down and get it for you. I'm going to go back and get some beer, and I'll be right back. So I got him his beer, and he's sitting there. I go get beer. I come back, and I'm putting the tops in the bottles. I'm just setting up the bar, and I'm talking to him through the mirror. So what I mean is I see him in the mirror, and he's behind me. So as I'm looking at this mirror, I see this gray splotch, and I think it's just someone in the mirror. And I think, man, I got to clean that, And then I look down again, what I'm doing, and I look up again, the spot moves. Now it's behind it. I'm like, whoa, that's no spot. I turn around and look, I can't see it. I see it in the mirror. So I'm like, okay, this is our little ghost that bounces around here. And he's telling me a story about how much he misses his kids, something about a swing set he was putting together. Gee, I hope I put those bolts in right, that kind of thing. And all of a sudden he gets quiet. And this gray mist goes behind him. And then he just kind of does one of these slumpy things.
Right.
And he picks up I thought he fell asleep. Picks up his head. And then he kind of picks up his body, and his body language changes. He starts rolling up his sleeves of his flannel shirt. And he says, hey, shot of tequila, no salt. Whoa. Because this man didn't drink. Never ordered a shot from me before. And I'm looking in the mirror, I turn around, I look at him, I said, man, are you sure? You need to eat. And he's like, shot of tequila, no salt. He said it kind of gruff. And I said, do you have a preference? And he said, gold. All right. So I get him a shot. I put it in front of me, downs it. Now he goes in his pocket. He's pulling out money. Change for the pool table. He's being real short, gruff. I'm like, this is not this man, And he gets money for the pool table. And then he goes over, he puts money in the jukebox, starts dancing around with the pool stick. You know what I mean? Just like really different. He's loading up the balls. He's shooting them in. Great shot. I mean, he's thinking them like crazy. And I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on. So I got another couple comes in, and I'm making frozen margaritas. And I'm watching him doing this. I'm like, this is not this guy. And I keep going, hey, Sam, did you pick out food? Because I'm concerned at this point. This guy hasn't eaten. Now he's doing tequila shots. So this goes on. I take care of the other people. He comes back up, says it again. Shot of tequila, no salt. I'm like, F you, all right. So I give him another one. And he goes back and he's playing. And then all of a sudden he comes back, he sits down, he does this. I'm like, Sam, are you all right, man? Come on. You know, and I'm like patting him on the, and he looks up and he goes, oh man, oh, Sysco, my head. And I'm like, yeah, I bet. Because at that point in time, I absolutely knew what had happened. And I went over and he says, I don't even want to eat. Just get my tab. And I went over back then you had it on a pad you wrote on.
Yeah.
And I went over and I crossed out the 2 shots of the tequila. And I said, the beer's on me, baby. Go to bed. You know? Now, how do you explain that to somebody? You were jumped.
Yeah, 100%.
You were jumped. Happened 2 more times in that bar. One with an old lady. That was creepy.
The old lady did the same thing? The old lady did the same thing?
When she looked up at me and said, shot of tequila, no salt. I was counting tips, and I was on my way out the door. And I looked at the bartender that was taking over. I said, here's your tips, honey. I said, the old bag is going to need change for the pool table. And I went home. True.
It's you know, I've been.
That's a jumper.
Yeah, I've been in. The only time I've ever been jumped was possibly or hitchhiked. I think there's a difference between jumping and hitchhiking, but that's it's semantics after a while.
Yeah, it is.
But
it's different.
I definitely.
Hitchhiker's more of an attachment.
I definitely did
Jumper
not.
Gets in you.
Yeah, I didn't feel anything. I felt sympathy for this individual that was locked up. And I have I try to put enough of a shield around me to prevent me from getting stuff, you know, to do that. I used to go out with Al all the time. That guy, Santa Riga, will get jumped 24/7 because
he's got that opening.
Well, it's not only the opening, it's people. I love you, Al, but he always comes off, I want to help. I'm going to be a hero. And what when you go in with that hero,
it's like a challenge.
Yeah. When you go in with a hero mentality and you don't like, I got it, or, whatever, and you don't, they're just waiting
how
for
much you don't have it.
Yeah. And I literally told people, I always tell people when we do an investigation, if you're sick, under the weather, if you're depressed, you just had a fight, anything negative, and you're tired, you haven't gotten enough sleep, do not go on a paranormal investigation. Do not do it.
Don't do it. Don't go in. Don't go on with them.
Right.
In your group, there should be a cleansing before you go in. Raise your vibration. And that goes for Ouija boards, tarot, anything. Yeah, you've got to put that down.
I mean, I love tarot cards. I have dozens of sets of them because I think they're just beautiful pieces of work.
They are.
Do I utilize or use the tarot? I don't need to. I know people that do tarot and they're pretty good at it. And it's this much of the portion of the world. If you see all these tarot readers, this much is knowing what they're doing and is good at what they do. The rest are watching the good guys or the good girls do it, and then they're just echoing their shit. That's how I've noticed it. I don't know.
I mean, that's the way the whole paranormal is. So many people are pissed in the paranormal at me because I tell the truth. Here's the thing. We need to think about something. With AI coming in, first we had the CGI. Now we got the AI. Okay. So that's going to kill a lot of things. It'll enhance some people, like musicians and things like that, but it's also going to kill it. Because you've got, like, if you look back at beautiful poetry and the way an author writes a book, their cadence, the way they speak, the way they draw you in, the way they draw the picture, you're never going to know anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? So what do you think that does for the paranormal? Now you can show me a full-bodied apparition walking across. Is it AI? Is it CGI? It's really going to kill a lot of things. So I believe I started a couple of years ago just trying to really push use your intuition.
Right.
Everybody's got it. Exercise your intuition, because if it feels wrong, it probably is. And you can practice that by looking at paranormal pictures. Here's what I mean. If you ever had a cat or a dog and you go and buy them a new toy, that almost looks real. Like say you bought your cat a toy mouse. The first thing that happens when you throw it in the floor is they go up and they smell around it. They're looking for life. They're looking for that smell, that intuition. Are they feeling something alive? Once they realize it's not, they're mucking around with it. It's fine. We have to do the same thing, you know, because now you can watch any paranormal show as it is. I mean, over 20 years, you look at, oh, they faked that. Oh, that's the producer knocking on the wall. Oh, he pulled a string. You know, it was bad enough. Now you've got all this added stuff. So I think we've come almost full circle. We're almost there to where we've got to go back to what we were born with. Use your senses, all of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I do believe everybody has it. Just some people exercise it more than others.
Yeah.
Just like everybody's born has a chance to play piano. You know, some people are going to be playing chopsticks and some people are going to be playing Chopin.
Yeah. I mean, I'm self-taught on a lot of instruments, but even piano, you learn a couple of chords. It's really not that difficult to do certain things. I call it heavy metal piano, like September Rain, you know, Guns N' Roses, when I look into your eyes, you know, and it's just chords, boom, boom, whatever it is. But I know people that are.
I played spoons with Glenn.
I know you did played spoons with Glenn, but you're a percussion, you know, like it's all percussions. But there are people that are naturally like they just pick up a piano and they I don't know if it's, you know, part of a reincarnation of Beethoven, Bach, or whoever, but they become masters at it, self-taught. Mm-hmm. Then there's some people who go to school to learn how to play piano and be a concert pianist.
And what BJ is saying is important too. So she belongs to the association.
Yep.
Like when they write books, it shows you that it's AI. It's not always going to do that. Right. What I mean is going to the library, picking up a novel, and being one with that author. You're not really going to be sure. Did they use AI and then just copy it over? Do you see where I'm coming from? You're not going to have that Bob Dylan songwriter. You're not going to have that Burt Bacharach songwriter, Chris Stapleton. You know, it's
100%.
Yeah, Sysco, and you just Sysco, you just mentioned, you know, A Christmas Carol is Dickens' best work. That novella is full of all kinds of really sad scenes. Like, you know, it's you could tell a human wrote it because it's, you know, memories of, you know, little Ebenezer being left over the Christmas holiday at the boarding school. You know, it's just those memories
as
of
a feel, and you're drawn into it.
You know, Coleridge. Wrote,
and all of that was so important in that novel, Mark, because it really did touch a lot of different things. You know, if you listen to why Dickens wrote that, he was trying to reach in and pull that humanity out of people again, because people had lost it. They weren't celebrating Christmas. There was nothing like that. It was barely even mentioned in the newspaper. And he saw the poor and the desolate, and he thought, we need to help each other. You know, humanity is here to help each other along. We're really all connected. When people realize that, it changes everything.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it's like you think of the vast ocean, you reach in, you take a bucket, you know, and then you put your hand in the bucket, you got a handful and you swing it. All these drops go everywhere. We're still part of that ocean.
Like
We're
no man
connected.
is an island.
Ghosts will show. Yeah,
Well,
ghosts will show you that all the time. And for that matter, so will things, certain cryptids like Bigfoot and
right.
a lot of the, aliens, telepathic, we're just really all connected.
Something that I tried and I shared it with a bunch of people, and some people like, wow, this is really great. I thought of an idea because I do this all the time. I don't need a special month or a challenge or any of that stuff. I'm always trying to help,
working on it, Lou,
and pay it forward. And I said, why not we do the whole month of May it forward? Just do one thing nice. You don't have to spend money.
It comes back to you.
You could just say, oh, you can go in front of me, or you can buy somebody
open the
something.
door.
Yeah.
Let somebody in at the road.
Yeah. You know what?
Absolutely. What's his name? I know it as well as my own. Daniel Brinkley. Daniel Brinkley has died, I think, 3 times now. I think it's 3. It might be 4.
Right.
I know he was struck by lightning 3 times. So anyway, he tells a story. The last time he came back, he's hugging everybody. And this one guy at a party says, man, you're really a hugger, aren't you? And he says, it seems that way. He says, but I'm not hugging you. I'm hugging me. So when I get over there again, I'm going to need those.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. You got to raise that vibration.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was trying to explain to people, that I'm one of the few people. Don't get me wrong. I want to hit the lottery too. I want good things to happen to me too. But if something really good happens to you, like lottery win, I couldn't be happier for you. The only thing I would ask, genuinely happy. I'm not like, I have friends that if they knew I won the lottery, every time I'd see them be like, oh, let's go to dinner here, here, and here, because they know that, oh, Brian will pay for it. Whereas that's why you don't mention, hey, Sean, you don't mention that, I told everybody, I'm like, if I were to hit like the lottery or come into some obscene amount of money, like lottery based money, you'd never know. There'll be signs, but you'll never know.
Yeah.
If you see a Lamborghini and me getting my fat ass out of it, guess what Brian did? but one thing you will not see.
55 Chevy pickup for me.
That's fine. But what you won't see,
and a big island with every stray, and every homeless vet.
Sysco's Cat Island.
All on my island.
Yes.
All on my island.
But you won't see me. I'm not doing things to help people just to get the credit. I don't want. I used to do this all the time.
It's not credit. It's a feeling. It's that vibe. So here's the thing.
Some people do it to get the credit to look good.
Right. But when you cross over, and I do believe it's an individual experience for everybody, but some things are the same.
Right.
Some things are the same. I mean, I've been doing this for 50 years. And I'll tell you, when they come back and they tell you the little bit that they can tell you, love is eternal. Okay? You will be judged for the things you've done.
Oh my
but
God,
guess who judges you? You do. You get to see how you made that person feel. You get to see what that caused that person to do next. So when you yell at the cashier and she goes home and smacks her kid and kicks the dog because you were the straw that broke the camel's back, you're responsible for that. That's why he comes back and hugs everybody, because he needs those hugs.
Some people definitely need those hugs, but
that's true.
This conversation that we're having right now, totally organic. I didn't plan anything. I was just happy to sit for a few minutes with Sysco.
I've been gone so long.
Well,
they don't know.
You're doing what you're doing. She did move.
And now I'm in the middle of the woods in Gettysburg.
Witness protection program.
Yep. And it's amazing here. And you want to talk about paranormal experiences. I'm here to help as many soldiers as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And I've done that. And I've got a little ghost story. Do you want to hear it?
Definitely want to hear it.
Ones.
You want to?
Does the chat want to hear a little ghost story? It's amazing. It's amazing. So I came here. I didn't mean to take over the show, but
No,
what'd you expect when you invite me on?
I know it's going to happen.
I'm here. I'm doing like my sons got older, and I said we're going to do one more trip together before you go off and do your, forever, right? So I planned a trip to Gettysburg from New Jersey on the 150th anniversary of the battle.
Right.
And so we come here, and I've got all this scheduled stuff we're doing. We're going to eat a burger here, and then we're going to go see monuments here, and we'll go to this museum. So I got all this stuff scheduled. And I had it all written down in an itinerary, so I wanted to fit in as much as I could.
Right.
So we're walking to the next thing, and we're walking past the cemetery, the National Cemetery. There's the Soldiers National Cemetery here and Green Cemetery. They kind of buck up against each other. Right in the middle is where Abraham Lincoln did the Gettysburg Address. I love Abraham Lincoln. So anyway, we're walking. It's October. It's Halloween weekend, for the love of God. It was wonderful. So the leaves are blowing in the street. That sound. It's just getting dark. It's just starting to get dusk. So the cemetery closes at dusk. So I said to my sons, I said, you guys figure out which way we're walking. Here's the map. I'm going in to say hello to the guys in the cemetery. I'll be right back out. So they're like, yeah, Mom, okay. So I go in, and in the cemetery, there is this like pie-shaped burial section, and it's for unknown soldiers. And I always try to go in and say some upbeat words and some prayers for the unknown, because nobody's praying for them, right? So I go in and I feel the heavy right away. I've got two over here. I've got one over here, and they're all just very, what's the word? Not depressed.
Somber.
Somber. Yes. Good. Thank you, Mark.
Hopeless.
Very somber.
Hopeless.
Very, not really hopeless. They were almost like Survivor's Guild. These weren't the guys that were in the grave. That's what I knew. So I just wanted to help. I had a few minutes. Bye. And I stood in the middle, and I said, look, I can feel the heaviness. I can feel the depression and the emotion. And I said, I don't know what to do for you gentlemen to raise that vibration. But I sang a little bit of Amazing Grace in heavy blues.
Right.
And then I did the Our Father. I said, this is for everybody. I hope it lifts your vibration. I gotta go, because they're going to close the park. So I turned around. I felt it lift, And I turned around and I see my sons out in the street with the leaves and everything, and they're looking at the map. And I start walking towards them, and I see my oldest kind of kick the leaves with his foot a little bit, bend over and pick something up. Now I'm one of those people that everywhere I go, I get a rock, and I bring it home and I put it in, and I know where I got all those rocks from. I'm a native, So anyway, so my sons know this, but I also told them I don't want anything from Gettysburg. Everything in Gettysburg belongs to them.
Yeah.
So I feel like, oh man, he's found me a rock, and I got to turn it down because I won't take anything. So I'm walking towards him, and I see him pick something up and look at it, and then look towards me, and starts walking towards me. So now we're walking towards each other, and I feel this hand on my shoulder, and I think it's one of the rangers going, look, crazy lady, get out of our park. We're closing the gates, So I turn around to say, I'm going. There's nobody there. Well, I didn't see somebody anyway. And I went, whoa, okay. And I just turned around. I said, look, I hope you heard me. I hope you heard what I. And I said, but I got to go. So I head toward my son. He walks up to me. This is what he says. They told me this was for you. and he goes like this in his hand, and he shows me a silver crucifix.
Ooh.
I had just done the Lord's Prayer. And I said, excuse me? I said, say that again. He said, they said, this is for you. And he's got it too. So I never questioned it. And I looked at it and I said, I can't take that out of here. And I heard, yes, you can. So I took it.
Right.
And I have worn it around my neck ever since.
That's cool.
And yeah, and I had just done the Lord's Prayer, and look what they give me.
I'm gonna put this way so they across.
You see what I'm saying? So fast forward 5 years, I'm in a class to enhance psychic abilities, whatever. The homework, which I never did, was bring something from home, put it in an envelope, and put it on the table.
Yeah.
And I get there, and the medium running it, her name was Barbara, fantastic lady. I'm like, oh, geez, I forgot about this. What am I going to do? So I take off my necklace. I stick it in the envelope. I seal it up. I put it on the table. And she goes over with her hand, and everybody's supposed to go pick up an envelope, go sit in front of who you think it belongs to. She goes over and gets mine. And she says, I feel like I should sit in front of you. And she's this little old lady. She's from England. She's adorable. She's so spot on. She sits in front of me. She just smiles. She goes, why do I feel like this is going to be nuts? And I said, well, you're sitting in front of me, honey. And we just laughed. And she goes, okay, I'm getting uniforms. She says, uniforms. What kind of uniforms, Barb? She says, all different. She goes, I don't know the different ones, but they look like all different military uniforms. She goes, does that click? And I said, yes. Continue. She says, oh, this is strange. And I said, keep going. She says, this is all soldiers. You don't know them, but they remember you. And I went, how cool is that? She goes, wait a minute, what's going on here? She goes, this was a gift from them to you for protection. And I went, spot on.
Yep.
So there you go. That's why I don't take it off.
I'm gonna.
But isn't that cool?
It's definitely cool. So I think this was 3 years ago, because I don't think you were there last year. Was it 2 years ago? We go to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, and it's in July, and it used to be a really, really great event, and it's good, but it's become Babylon, for lack of a better word. I don't know if and people are
easily taken over.
Yeah, it's just
influence.
Becomes a hedonistic mess, and you're missing what the intention was for it, which was to help. I think it was Gold Star, Blue Star families and some kids, right? And some kids. So it is what it is. Sysco's the one that told me about it. I came. I remember I was like, I didn't tell the family the first time I went there when we were in the Wyndham, and they're upstairs trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do. And then I let in, oh, by the way, there's a whole paranormal conference this weekend. That's why we're staying here. Whatever. So I'm in the lobby and I got my headphones on. I'm actually feeling good because I'm amongst people that, I don't have to explain myself. And this crazy lady is just staring there looking at me. And I hadn't seen Sysco forever. And I'm like, oh my God, so I give her a hug. But about 2 years ago, she always goes to honor all the soldiers because she's a soldier herself. And so we drove in my car, and she's in the passenger seat. Her son is in the rear. And we pull up. I forgot what the house was. I forgot the name of the house. It's like it's getting dusky. It's at, whatever. We pull up next to this house, and there's a big oak tree. There's a rock wall, a house on the right. weed is kind of blowing. It's a little slightly blowy on both sides. And she's honoring her brothers in arms. Probably some sisters too, but whatever.
Mhm.
And then I said, I want to try something. And I played, his name is Khalil. And he's a really great musician. And he does the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Really, really amazing. I really want to play it. I'll look for it, but we're there, and I just
Just put
opened
the link in the description
Yeah, I will. I'll put it in the
so
description.
people can hear it.
It is a beautiful rendition of this song. I got it from Glenn Beck's show, and he did something where it was just amazing. And I opened my door so the speaker would penetrate the atmosphere, the air. And out of nowhere, as this is playing, a black cat appeared on that wall out of nowhere, and her son was staring at the wall, and he goes, a cat just appeared.
Mhm.
And the cat was staring at it. The minute the music started going, all things started happening. That cat appears on the wall. He's talking to the soldiers. They're staring at this cat. Sysco and cats, it's like cookies and milk. They go together. Okay. And I am just wishing like you can stand down for a few, and just telling them like the war's over. You can stand down for a few. And I'm not
You're
kidding.
dealing with soldiers.
I'm
So
not
true.
kidding you, but in the way it works for me, in my mind's eye, I swear to you, I started seeing soldiers that were hiding behind logs and trees and walls and hay. And they were just
Hundreds of them.
They were just kind of peeking up, like, what the hell's going on type of look to the music. They all started doing it. And there was this wonderful feeling there. It's kind of hard to describe, but that was probably the closest I got to a ghostly type of encounter, but it was more what you do with your abilities. You were talking about them too. They're, I get in my mind's eye. And
that
it was
wheat started to sway.
Yep. And the wheat, was swaying.
And that cat showed up.
Yep.
And then the cat just disappeared.
Like that. It
right
was
in front of our eyes.
It was just
Yeah.
I think it was time, and you said, okay, it's time. And we went back to wherever. But it was probably one of the most magical moments out there. And I really wish people can experience something like that, because not all spirits or
there's a reverence.
Yeah.
There's a reverence to it. I mean, the people that provoke and do all these things just to get evidence, and I know, please understand that I know so many paranormal groups, and I get it that not everybody goes and does that kind of thing. But to me,
right,
personally, in my opinion, going to a place that is haunted and asking them to use their energy to bang on the walls or move the ball or ring the whatever, and then not try to communicate and help them, is like going to the zoo and poking the animals with sticks.
Yeah.
I'm an old Hans Holzer person. That's who got me started when I was about 10. I've had abilities. I was seeing things from my whole life.
Right.
Read the book. It's in there. It's a journey. I mean, I can go way back to 2 or 3 years old, but I don't have any confirmation that wasn't Grandpa. I don't know the date. You know what I'm saying? The first one that I can remember. Do you want me to tell the flying head?
Yes, please do.
Sure.
I'm looking for that song while you're talking. Just to
yeah, just stick it in the description so everybody can get it.
Yeah.
So I'm little, taking a nap kind of age. Okay, so I had 9 sisters and brothers. Mom and dad were all living in this farmhouse. Now my dad was a piece of work, and he had PTSD before we called it that. He was World War II, and he liked to douse it with a lot of alcohol, and he got really mean. And he was like 6'7". He's a big dude, you know. He's an ominous figure, you know. So he didn't believe in any of this. So when we moved into the farmhouse and they said it was haunted, he was like, "Shut up! I don't want to hear it," or nonsense, you know. So you didn't want to poke it around. Everybody, if they had an experience, they kept it to themselves or amongst themselves. It wasn't something you brought up with the meatloaf at dinner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's just going to cause a fight. So I'm asleep in my mom and dad's bed, on their bed. I still remember the chenille bedspread. You know, you fall asleep, you get the pockmarks on your face. Chenille. That takes you back. So my mom had this big kind of walk-in closet with shutter doors. Shutter doors have the slats on them. So what woke me up was this crackling, popping sound. And I kind of looked towards, I remember waking up, feeling the pockmarks on my face. And I looked towards the closet and I'm hearing the rustling around. And right away, I remember the feeling of, oh my, somebody's going to get in trouble. My sisters are in my mother's dresses and they always got in trouble for borrowing her clothes. So I'm thinking as a kid, I'm thinking it's that. No, there's a light coming out of this closet through the slat. And I'm looking at it, I sit up and I'm looking closer like, that's weird. And I'm trying to process the sound with the light. And as I'm trying to do this, the light is getting bigger and pushing through the slat. And it's coming towards me. And I'm sitting up on this bed with this light coming towards me. It's just getting bigger and bigger. And then within the light, you start to see these like speckles and it's getting darker. And there's like a figure. I can make out a face. And it's not a whole person. It's just the head. It's got its eyes closed and its mouth closed. I remember it had brown hair and it's flying towards me. When it got right in front of my face, it opened its eyes and this red light, red eyes. Not his eyes were red. It was a red light that came from his eyes. He opened his mouth. It just kind of dropped. And I thought he screamed, but it very well could have been me or both of us. I can't tell you who was screaming. Probably both of us. I got so scared, I just fell backwards. And it flew over me. And as it's flying over me, the ponytail, it had a ponytail. The ponytail's flying like a kite tail. And in the ponytail's held with a red ribbon. I'm screaming bloody murder. All of a sudden, the door flies open. 2 or 3 sisters fall in. My mom's there. It's just a lot of hustle bustle coming towards me. I'm screaming. And all I'm saying is red eyes, red ribbon. Red eyes, red ribbon. I'm like freaking out. They're picking me up. They're talking. They're doing their women screeching back and forth, whatever. Get her. She had a nightmare, Mom. Get her a cookie. You know, whatever. I'm hearing all this shit. Somebody carries me out into the living room. My sister's sitting on the couch. My mom's now sitting on the couch. They're going to take me to the kitchen to get me something, I guess, a glass of water. I don't know. And as I'm being pulled away, I hear my sister say to my mother, "Just like me, Mom, red eyes, red ribbon." And I remember that moment because it was one of the few times that a ghost sighting in that house was validated. And I knew other people had seen it too. Now, we had seen that, so it turned out to be a Revolutionary War soldier that had died downstairs. But he was angry sometimes, sad sometimes. Now, I've talked to Brian about this. I didn't have a chance to talk to Mark, but we have since discovered that angry red eye energy in cryptids as well. Bigfoot, Dogman, certain other ones. So
Right.
there's something about that anger energy.
Well,
And
you know,
so
so,
that also teaches you that ghosts appear in different forms with their emotion as well. Because sometimes he was sitting in the corner crying and there was no red eyes. You know, there was just this feeling of depression and sadness and lost hope, and you know, he was left behind and he died alone in a hiding from the enemy. So I was never
That's
able to help
terrible.
him. We moved. It's now condos.
That is just so depressing.
But it took 20 years for my sisters to admit that they saw something too. You know.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you think about that, you've got an angry Revolutionary War ghost.
Right.
Did my dad come in and activate that because they had similar energies going on? You know, you think about that. You know, did he activate my dad? Did they both play off each other? Because he would go into these rages, you know, out of nowhere. And there was something in the cellar that was very, very, very evil, you know.
Right.
And I was never able to get any other answers. But that opens a lot of questions.
It definitely does. I'm gonna while you're talking, Mark, I'm gonna actually I found it. I'm putting it into the chat right now.
There you go. Did you have a question, Mark? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yes. Okay.
Well, when I was talking with your buddy just before I joined this show, Lynn and her two guests and I were discussing the Mothman. You know, the red eyes came up. Jackie and Bill were discussing more about the interpretations that Mothman was maybe had more of angelic intentions. It does not seem like
like a harbinger.
Yeah, he was not an evil character who destroyed the bridge. Maybe he was more of a presence to warn people. That might be a different interpretation of the red eyes than what you were talking about. I'm not disputing you. I'm just saying. I just came from that conversation, and
that's an interesting case. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
I did an episode on my channel, and it's a deep dive. What I think I came away with on that, Mark, was the feeling I got was Mothman is more of one of these entities that eats fear. Loosh, you've heard of Loosh? Loosh, Loosh. Yeah. So there are entities that feed on that. So you'll see, like in Chicago, the Chicago humanoids and things like that, they go where there's a disaster, and they feed on that energy. Yeah. And they know it's coming, so they wait around.
Yep.
So you could look at that and say, hey, they show up a little early. He's here to warn us. Something's going on, but something's going on.
Yeah, they're headed to the Sizzler.
The disaster's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also green eyes on the Battle of Chickamauga.
Oh.
Where many soldiers put in their journals that they saw this floating type thing. I would say they described more of a monstery type looking. I don't know how you would, but they all said he had the red eyes, and it would just kind of like if you saw this suck your soul out, it suck your energy out kind of thing.
Yep.
It was like that. It was just feeding on the suffering. I can tell you that when you go to a battlefield, and I'm in one right now, and you're trying to help cross a soldier, there are things standing there trying to stop you. So you're fighting that too.
They love the
So-
torment these souls have.
They
It
want it to
still
continue.
creates energy. So
Yep. And they don't want you to help. I'm dealing with a situation like that right now, and it's serious. And, you know, these people are delving with things that they don't know what they're dealing with, and they're cocky about it.
Yep.
That's just, they love that.
And
they love cocky on the other side.
I'm
Let
just
me tell you one of the scariest realizations. If you take nothing else from this show, understand what I'm about to tell you. When you're standing, let me explain it this way. You're standing on the beach. You're nice and safe. Okay? And you're staring out at the vast ocean. And you're feeling pretty good. You're cussing out all the sharks and all the barracuda and all the stingrays and everything else. You can't touch me. I'm here on dry land. You're nothing to me. You can't hurt me. And then something happens one day where you find yourself in a boat, and that boat sinks. And now you're in their territory. And they go, we got you now. That happens every single day to people that go and provoke these things, mess with things they don't need to, invite that stuff in, and then walk around like nothing happened to me. I have a lot of friends who are very powerful. And I know some real great left-handed witches, baby. And the voodoo practitioners, the whole spectrum, shamans, and they will all tell you that they walk into a place with a lot of paranormal people and they see the tag on the back of their neck. It's like an energy, and it's the personal symbol of that demon that you pissed off.
Yep.
And he's waiting for you to get in the ocean. And then you call people like me and Brian to go into that in between. Oh, now you want help. It happens to us all the time. Brian and I have been on some wild cases together.
Yeah.
Wild cases.
She sent me into
but
places.
There's a lot of people running around with that tag on the back of your neck. And they got nothing but time.
They do.
Think about that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you sent me into
Brian can back me up on that trip.
Oh, 100%. I'm going to back you up on it. Just want to give a little taste of Kali, just a little bit, because so I don't get the copyright infringement, but here we go. He was on Glenn Beck TV, and it was really, really a great song. So I'm just going to give you like maybe 30 seconds worth.
Thank you, BJ. Oh, beautiful.
I'll just give you the first chorus.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He's trampling out the vintage where the grapes of bread are stored. He's loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on.
Beautiful.
He does. I'm not going to go into I don't want to get myself in a lot of trouble.
Glory, hallelujah, baby.
Yeah. So that's.
I just heard that done at the memorial service.
Yeah.
For Memorial Day.
Well,
this man sang baritone from a wheelchair. Oh.
And
it was gorgeous.
It's a period. It's a time. It's a song from the time. That's why I wanted to play it, because one, it was beautifully done. It was done by a man of color. You know, I'm in Gettysburg, and everybody that was there at Gettysburg, they've heard that before. They were singing it. They were humming it. And it just touched the vein, you know, touched the nerve, a vein.
And that kind of,
yep.
You know, they call them triggers now. It's not provoking. When you go in and you play music to soothe, to get, you have to understand, on a battlefield, you've got all the kinds. You've got residual. They're not here anymore. You see the horse run by you here. You're getting a replay in time. I call those almost, and it could very well be a time slip as well. I mean, we're the two. Kind of describe it this way. When you have a book and the book gets wet and you open the book and the pages are wet and you can kind of sort of see a little bit of the other page behind the page you're looking at. It's sort of like that. These times kind of bleed into each other.
Yep.
So it's residual. There's no intelligent haunting there. Then you've got your ghosts that are there, usually under their, everybody is where they are under their own choice, whether they know it or not. They've created this box for themselves that they can't get out of. They can't go any further, whatever that may be. A good movie about that is 1943, Abbott and Costello, The Time of Their Lives.
Oh, yeah.
That movie had it. That movie had it right.
Yep.
They were trapped in this well because a lie was told about them, and they cannot leave until the lie is undone. So basically, again, held there of their own volition, whether they realize it or not. So you have a lot of that on the battlefield. You've got the ones that are just repeating over and over and over, caught in the loop.
Right.
And then you've got the ones that are there, but they won't leave the others. I get that a lot. We're not leaving till they go. All right, what's his problem? Let's start with him then.
No.
Let's try to sort him. And I can tell you the number one thing that always works, sometimes it takes a little longer, is connecting them into the feeling of love.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how hard that is, that a person has been reliving the same battle for 163 years? Me, I can't leave them.
No.
So I'm going to go back and I'm going to continue to keep trying to communicate. You remember, some of these guys never had love. One, I had in a group, and I was talking to the highest ranking ghost there, and he was pretty much doing a lot of the answering. And I got that whole thing where we're not leaving till they go. Okay, let me deal with him. And he's walking this whole chapter. Read it. It's my favorite chapter.
I got to go find your book now.
Okay. So I'm trying to deal with him, and I'm feeling he's kind of moving almost like in a figure eight pacing, and he's listening to what I'm saying, but he's saying stuff like, "What are you listening to her for?" They come here, they say stuff, they leave. He's very angry. And he's like, oh, absolutely. Because again, you're on a ghost hunt, comes through 4 times a day. What was the war like? What's it like to be shot?
Yep.
I'm playing Dixie on the Yankee side just to get,
jack you up.
The night before I was there was a lady that got slapped right across the face for doing that. So anyway, I'm like, dude, read my intent. They can read your intent. Read my intent and understand what I'm telling you is the truth. And he's starting to listen to me. And I'm trying to get him, that's it, that's her. I'm trying to get him to trust me. And I'm saying, I understand. I'm a soldier. I know what you went through. I forgive you. You did what you had to do. He stopped pacing and looked at me. He said, you don't know how mean I am. I said, honey, I'm mean too. But I'm a soldier and I love you.
Right.
And he stopped and he kind of, there was a break in that erratic behavior. And I said, do you remember love? Do you remember the love of your parents? And I didn't have any parents.
Yeah,
it was nonsense. And I said, do you remember the love and camaraderie of your brothers that fought with you, that broke them a little bit? And I said, did you ever have a pet? And he said, I had a dog. And I said, do you remember what it felt like to love that dog? And he melted. And I had him. And I said, I want you to remember that. Hold on to that feeling. I love you. And so do these gentlemen standing with you.
Yep.
And then everybody started moving into that feeling. And we walked into the light. We got 7 that night. Yep.
Yeah. If you're
7 over.
If you're one of those people, and there are a lot of people out there that are buying a haunted house because you want to keep it haunted and you want to
Those aren't pets.
Don't invite this woman over to your house.
No.
Because she doesn't answer to you. She answers to what is right and wrong, and she will move as many into the light that ask to be moved into the light.
Mm-hmm. At the very least, when I leave, I want them to understand that they have the ability to go at any time.
Yep.
They might still have to go through some things. They might have, we always say unfinished business. That's so sterile. You know, what business? Are they confused? Do they know do you know you're dead? You know, you can't just open with that. Hi, you're dead. You know, and I'm here to get some EVPs. No. You have to ease into it. This is a conversation. This is almost like therapy. And we're not licensed therapists here.
Right.
You have to move with love and intent.
So, we have a new person. Barbara thanks Jesus.
That's fine, Barbara.
What do you do
their free will
when they don't want to go? So it's all free will. It's
free will. My thing, Barbara, is I just want them to know that is their choice. I'll tell a quick story. I'm at a bar, and I was brought there because this group was trying to get through to this ghost and trying to sort what was going on.
Yep.
It was causing a lot of havoc. It was a jumper.
Right.
You know. So they bring me in, and I'm sitting there, and we're going through, and I'm talking, and we're communicating, and I've got my dowsing rods. And the only reason I use dowsing rods is to confirm what I'm feeling, because it happens so rapidly sometimes. So I'm talking to this guy. Turns out he wanted his story told. A lot of people do. They just want to be noticed. He was at a wedding, got drunk. They went to that bar. He walked home, got hit by a train. His body wasn't found for months. His head was over here and his body was over here. Okay. So he went back to what he remembered, the last place he was happy, that bar. And now he likes jumping in people because he can get a little beer every once in a while. He can slap a little butt, you know.
Yep.
Whatever. Sneak a peek in the bathroom, whatever it is. And this is all he has known for like the past 20-something years. Okay. So we went through the story. Often that helps because they start zeroing in on what they were. Okay.
Right.
And I told him, he said, I'm not ready to go. I said, that's fine. I want you to know that you have the ability to look up, that you are connected to the light. You have to see it, and you have to be ready to go. And he said, I understand. And I said, now understand this. Time over there is different. It might take another 250 years. This place might be a parking lot before somebody else comes in here that will communicate with you. So please write this down. Remember, you have the ability to remove yourself from this place. Because they get erratic and they forget.
I mean, we had someone in chat just, which is the first time I've seen you there. So welcome to the broadcast. And you are always entitled to your own take and opinion on things. But they basically said that they didn't believe anybody helped, put people here. There was Julie. I don't think anyone can move anything into the light. You're
No, you
entitled
don't.
to your opinion, and
You. It's like giving directions.
right.
It's like, there it is. You're connected to it. You have the power.
Go if you
Your
want.
free will to move. Right. A
Right.
lot of times they have to do certain things before they're ready to go. It might be, the insurance papers are in the desk, or please give my wife this. She needs it. And it might just be a small little thing that they're waiting around to do, but it might take years for that to happen, for somebody to listen, to be able to
Right.
help them through that.
So
And you see that a lot in the Ghost Whisperer show. She was always doing little tasks. That was based on two really strong mediums. It went a little wonky in the second season,
right.
but that was based pretty good.
So yeah, I mean, I will tell you that when my dad transitioned to the other side, he hung out for a long, long time. And our psychic's like, your dad's here with me. He says he's going to stay here. He's pissed off. You don't sleep. That's when
Yes,
he's going to come
brother.
to you. And and even our psychic, there's certain characteristics of that you have experiences you see as a medium or whatever it is. And there's certain paths, like it should be A, B, C, D, E, whatever. Some people don't want to do it that way. They do, it's very erratic, but most entities don't want to stay here. They want to move on. But he purposely stayed here. He goes to help, he said. And then after that, she said, he's going to be your guardian angel. And I
But you
said,
have to go through.
yeah, I
You
said,
have to go through a little bit of raising up before you can do that. But they can.
no, he was
Spirit
like,
guides could be pets. It could be
Right.
animals. It could be,
like, but as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh shit, can I get a different one? And I literally
you
saw
have a lot of them.
I saw my dad like kind of chuckling and saying, and he said, he goes, no, I've changed. I'm telling you, I've changed. And I'm like, you motherfucking better have changed, because
Yeah. Well,
it
you're over there.
better
You
be
really
better
don't
than
have a choice.
before. Yeah.
And
I think
I'm
Yes, Mark.
confident in the amount of data that I've collected over 50 years. Again, no expert.
Right.
No expert.
There are no
I'm
experts.
saying from what they come back and tell me is you're still learning. You're still elevating your soul. You have choices there as well.
Yeah.
You see what you did. You see what you could have done. What you did caused. So if you did something good, it might have caused a ripple of good. Just and the opposite. So you see all that, you go, man, I think you get really hyper over there, where you go like, wow, I want to go back, and this time I'm going to do this, and this, and give me these things because I really want to work through this.
Yep.
And I'm a firm believer in soul groups and contracts. And I think once I realized that, it was like, that makes so much sense. So much sense to come back with a soul group, and everybody's, and it's playing a different part kind of, and learning from each other. What you do, the beautiful thing on the other side is you already agree to forgive each other for the hell you're about to put each other through if you go back through.
Yeah.
True.
Just to answer your
Forgiveness.
your suggestion, Julie N1-1. I've actually have put what was used as dowsing rods into inanimate objects, a can, a jar. And
they're all kinds of.
Yeah, and I've actually had it so that no one was physically holding them, so you get muscle, involuntary muscle movements, or subconsciously.
Right.
And they move.
I'm not that talented.
They move. It was on a tray. We actually wheeled the tray. It was a smoother surface. It wasn't bouncing, whatever. And those things literally would move. So, again,
that's an experiment.
Yeah.
To me, that's an experiment. Yeah. And I'm not trying to prove anything. You believe me, call me a bitch, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, like
That's not my gig. I'm not trying to prove to anybody that ghosts exist. You prove to me that they don't.
right. So I mean, especially since if you're going to believe in the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, guess what? You believe in a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of it that way.
Well,
I mean,
see, that's just the thing.
Tear anybody apart.
There's so many things here we don't understand, from mystical creatures to all kinds of things. We're just, a sunshine on a blade of grass, baby.
Yeah.
Our time here is so fast,
And
no. Don't take that wrong. It's not annoying. I'm just saying, I don't really do a lot of the experiments and the only reason I use dowsing rods is like I'm getting a yes. And if the dowsing rods go to whatever their yes is, that just confirms what I'm feeling.
Sometimes
because
get
I
an
question
answer,
myself.
and then you can cross. Sounds really weird. You cross signals where sometimes other signals come in. So someone's saying yes and someone's saying no. You're like, listen, I got to get is it a yes or
I got to
no?
focus in. Yeah.
And you're focusing in on it, something specific. And then the dowsing rods will
and most of the time there's people with abilities much better than mine.
Yeah.
I know people that are just amazing. I'm not a medium, I'm an extra small.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're getting the same thing without talking. We're not talking. They're getting the same thing. That's validating to me. If somebody's over here with an obelisk or whatever that thing is that does words.
Yes.
Dave Scott. And it comes up, that's awesome. If
Dave
somebody's
Scott,
got a FLIR camera, and they're seeing the guy sit on the couch, and I feel that he's sitting on the couch, that's all validation. That's awesome. I went into a Paracon, and I went into this seminar, and it was a panel, and I get down there early, and I'm sitting down, and I'm listening to people coming in. This is the audience. This one girl was so excited. She grieved so hard for her grandmother. And her grandmother practically raised her. It was one of those deals. She was so close to her grandmother. She got a goodbye visit from her grandmother before she ever knew she was dead in the hospital. She came and visited her, told her that she loved her, told her she was going to be okay. She was always going to watch over her. It was a lovely, lovely visit. And then she was gone. About 2 hours later, she got the phone call that she had passed.
Yep.
Okay, so this was her experience. She finally got her husband to bring her to this seminar, this Paracon, whatever. And she's all excited about it. And she's explaining this to him. And she's talking about her experience. And she sits down, and the first two speakers were fantastic and kind of validated stuff. Hey, Dave. And
yep.
Once they were done, this one guy who's a skeptic comes out, and I think he was on the line of, I don't know, all ghosts are made out of green jello or some shit. I don't fucking know. And he was just so negative and so mean. And, anybody that thinks they saw a ghost out of their mind, and, you bring me your evidence and I'll dispute it. And it was her energy went into the floor. Yeah. And her husband looks at her and says, see, I told you it was nonsense. Now, what did that accomplish? Here's this lady bouncing around, moving through her grief. She was able to go on about her day. She was happy about stuff. And, the love of her grandmother, love her is eternal. And there's this jerk tells her that they're made out of green cheese or something. Or they're all demons, or they're all aliens.
Yeah.
Listen, you show me the demon that has the ability, that kind of inherent evil, that kind of darkness can come through and go through all your filters and feel like pure love. I don't believe that can happen.
Neither do I.
I don't believe that can happen. I don't believe something that evil can pull off that. Make you think you see things, make you do things, everything else. But you smell evil coming. And let me tell you something. They smell you too.
Nap time.
They smell you too.
They do smell you too. You know, a lot. It's really interesting.
It sounds so funny.
Yeah, guys at Paranormal
Sure.
411. The story you just told about, they told that person someone's going to pass away, they're going to be called home, and then 2 hours later they got the message that they were called home.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to me
Yeah.
Sunday. And I was the one that I was at. Someone asked me for help, and they know we're like, it's like family to me. I'm like, you don't even have to ask, just tell me what's going on. And I told that person what was going to happen, and I felt shitty telling it. I don't like being that bearer. And I went. I saw my niece. We went for breakfast and whatever. She came down to Florida. Not me. It wasn't. It wasn't my loss. But I thank you, Bamora. But by going through me, they got quality time to spend with their loved one, and I didn't think it was going to be as soon, but I knew it was coming. And 2 hours later, I got the text, and I just said, "I'm really, really sorry."
You knew already, though. Yeah.
Well,
you knew.
when
you feel it,
when you are when you have people
I
in
love
there,
that, Julie,
and they say things to the effect of that whoever is the loved one is seeing other people are like, "Oh, my dog's here. I smell my mother's bread." You're on your way. And what sucks is because you have these abilities to tap into this stuff, before other people know, and then you become like this messenger of death. And it's like, it sucks.
Yeah.
And this person that I did it for, fantastic freaking human being, wonderful person, really, really wonderful. I'm actually so thankful they've been part of my life, and I was introduced to them, and it's just, you connect with them. It's just really, it's frustrating and it's upsetting.
Yeah. Well, with you're more open, and you might have been able to get to you instead of getting through all the grief and the worry, whatever was going on the other side. And that happens.
Right.
But I want to point out what Julie said. I'm a skeptical believer.
Yeah.
I love it. You have to be.
Yes, you do.
You have to be. And you have to understand when you're going into these homes that everything is a factor. That's why I told you the story about Brad, about emotion and what you're going through. What Brian said about, there's been times I called him and say, "Man, I need somebody to such and such." And he's like, "I'm not in an emotional state. I'm not in a good state for that. So I have to go to somebody else." Or, what I said in the beginning of the conversation about raising your vibration, putting your protection around you. Make sure what your intent is. If you're going into a insane asylum just to get, people ask me all the time, I'm not going.
Yeah, I don't need to go to a insane
because
asylum.
It's hard enough to deal with them in real life.
Yeah.
I would go with a band of really good people with abilities, because these people need help.
Bye, Bamora.
Hans
Have a great night.
Holzer once said, "I'm not afraid of ghosts. They're just people in need of help."
Yeah.
And they might be here to help you. There's so many, like I said, over the past 2 decades that are really sticking around to try to help people through things because it helps them. And somebody asked earlier about how do you get them to cross? Well, you don't make them cross.
No.
If you need them out of your house, you can get them out of your house. Doesn't mean they're going to the light.
No.
They're just going somewhere else.
They're going to a
like
neighbor's
clearing out
house.
a bar.
They're going to Mark Eddy's house.
That's it.
Yeah.
But it has to do with everything going on in that house. Is there drugs? Is there abuse? Is there whatever? One of the saddest things that I've learned is if there's some kind of abuse, especially on a child in a home, guess what shows up first? Demons. Because they're eating the loose. They're causing more to happen. Yeah, more.
Yeah.
That's them. Now you go in with the good, you're battling all of that.
Yep.
And you have to sort it. and you have to help that kid, you have to help that person, you have to help the living, and then maybe you can deal with the haunting. But there's so much to be sorted, you know, in any kind of haunting.
There's a
and you have to know, are you haunted? You could be the one haunted.
I will tell you
There's
that
so much.
I've seen some people that have a darkness about them or around them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, look, I do what I do. I just had these conversations the other day. I'm like, and I still do it. I do what I do, and I question every damn thing I do. I'm like, how the F is this supposed to be real? But it's come to fruition every time. I would say 98%. And I don't do that for the pat on the back. I'm just telling you I'm keeping tabs on this shit because a logical person is like, you can't do that. Where is the science behind it? Where is whatever? But before they invented the word science and what science is, that was called religion. And it was attributed to a higher spirit or a lower failed demon.
I think the first word was love. It seems to me to be the strongest emotion. It's the one that lasts eternally. And somebody in the chat asked, you know, how do you help? Can you help ghosts that are here? Can you help spirit that comes back to visit, you know, and things like that? I'll tell you what you can do. Just your thoughts and your intent, you can help your loved ones on the other side.
Yeah.
Just by sending them happy thoughts and energy. If you miss them, you can talk about a happy story that happened, or you know, something that happened in your day that you want to share with them, and you send them that energy. I'm going to leave you with this one because I know we got to go.
Yeah.
My dad, I mentioned, you know, what a son of a gun he was. Not a lot of people in my family understand. I think I'm the only one. And I hadn't seen him since I was 3. My mom and dad got a divorce, and that was it.
Right.
You know, so I know he passed, and I went to go see that one medium, Barbara. I was doing some work with her, and she said, you know, I got to give you a reading. Your mom's here, and she's got something she wants to talk about. And I'm like, well, by all means, let's go. So there was something going on with my sons, and she wanted to get all that out. And I asked her, I said, you know, Mom, I never asked you, how's Dad? You know? And she says, I don't want to talk about him. I want to talk about my grandson. And I said, all right, but we're going to go back to it. So when she was all done, I said, now, what about Dad? And this is what she said. This is through Barbara. I don't hear her. I feel her,
I know
but I'm not hearing her.
Yeah.
This is coming through the medium. Barbara kind of laughed, and she says she's going to go down and get him. And I said, oh, my God, don't go there. So me and Barbara start cracking up. And she's like, actually what it is just levels. You know, the lower you go, it's just your vibration puts you where you're going to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
She literally describes my mom going down and pulling my dad up by like his collar, like bringing him up, like your daughter wants to talk to you kind of thing. The man couldn't talk. The damage that he did to people in this earth while he was on it, he's so encumbered by the pain he caused. He couldn't even lift his head. He's still going through it. So I said, okay, I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, you know.
So every time I thought about it, Brian, I said, I'm going to send you love. I appreciate you. You probably did the best for me you could. You helped make me. You just took off. Stay out of my life. I love you for being my father. Happy thoughts and energy. I did that for a year. I go back. I see Barbara again on another event. My mom brings through some people that my family needed to see. And Barb says, wait a minute, there's another guy here, and I think it's for you. And she points at me. And I said, okay, describe him. She did. I know a lot of tall guys in uniform. She's going through, he's in uniform, he's in his dress greens. And she's describing him. And I said, I need a little more. And he lifted his head. This is her words. He lifted his head and he said, I would not have been a good role model for your son. I said, that's my daddy.
Yep.
And she said, your energy that you've been sending him gave him the ability to lift his head, to speak, and to find a good time in his life that he was proud of, that uniform. That's what you can do with your energy.
That's like baby steps. First, you find how you want to present yourself to people, and you look to the best version of yourself. This is why, like I was trying to explain to the other person, I said, when I see my father, he morphs, because I can see him as how he's presenting himself in different ways.
So true, Julie.
Other people. Julie, it's a pleasure to having you here. Please come back
They
anytime.
are not as common.
Yeah.
And they're not physical.
Right.
They're not physical. That's why they need the invite.
Right. So
be good humans.
Yeah, definitely be a good human.
Thanks for having me, guys. I know we got to go. Thank you, chat.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. We got to get Sysco back on. Sysco has her YouTube channel, Journey Through the Gate Paranormal Portal podcast. Hopefully,
it's on Rumble as well.
It's on Rumble. She has a Rumble channel. I want to thank BJ for throwing all those links up.
Thank you, BJ.
And I will tell you this: if you go to watch the replay of this, you will always see all the chat in there. Unless it's like a really bad comment, then
thank you, everybody.
But thank you very much to my sister from a different mister.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
it's nice to be back. I've been gone a while.
Yes, see, I'm hosting the Sysco coming out party, and yes, we have to have you come back on. I'm going to be at Gettysburg.
Thank you, Mark.
Lovely
meeting you, Mark.
Yeah, you may meet Mark.
And I love the Dickens stuff. There's so much in that. Maybe for Christmas we can do an episode on it, because there's so many levels to that.
And maybe we can, maybe we can get Mr. Stockton in here, and we'll recreate.
I know I'm in that book. The minute I saw that cover,
you're getting one of those. You're not. Yeah. I wrote this prior to meeting you, but maybe it was in the back of my mind.
Yeah, so you knew you were going to meet me.
Of course I did. But everybody, I want to thank everybody for being here.
Thanks, everybody.
I think June starts next month, right? Yeah. So I think our guests are the Half-Inch Wrench crew and the Ghosted Wrench. We're going to talk about their investigations, and
love you, Will.
Hopefully we're going to be able to get Shelby into a lot of trouble and send him into the woods, and maybe have a first contact with a Bigfoot. I love everybody in the chat. Thank you for all the new people coming in. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Makes a great 4th of July gift or Memorial Day gift. Thank you to our servicemen, women, children, and families, because freedom is not free. Amen. Yeah, and it's not about barbecues and going to the beach, because while you were going to the beach, there was another beach people went to that didn't come off that beach. So just remember that.
So true.
And, thank you, Sysco. Mark, always a pleasure having you here. And like I always say, we're going to end it with the same thing. If it wasn't for both of you and everybody in that chat, and Semper Fidelis, yes, always flexible.
Hoorah!
Hoorah. Sean, you and Sysco you get along perfect. Trust me on that one.
Crown eater.
Yeah. Bye, everybody, and thank you very much.
You, it's always been you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I've seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you. True love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I will give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I have seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you, true love is you. Love is you, true love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I would give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you.